We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It's October 27th, 6 a.m. I just got off work. Yesterday, I was off, did absolutely nothing, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of glad I did nothing because I'm supposed to be off today, and I got called in. My boss, well, not called in, but my boss asked me if I would come in and basically like 4 pallets that didn't get finished, so I actually don't mind coming in. It's a little extra money. I did have plans. I was going to take Sammy out for Halloween. We were going to go see the new Halloween movie, which looks pretty cool, but I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Yeah, it's been an interesting week as far as updates. We got a new guy, and man, the first day that this new guy worked, like, he was like tore up. And he came in the other day. I had a coworker like, "What do you think of the new guy?" You know, and I'm like, "Well, I mean, he seems cool." I said, "But he definitely was tore up. He was on something, you know." And he was like, "Yeah, I noticed." And I was like, "I don't care. I'm not going to say nothing, you know. I'm not a rat. I don't gossip. I don't do all that shit." But I was like, if the boss sees him, yeah, or like a day shift person sees him, yeah, he's going to be in trouble. And then he came in another day, and this dude was literally standing in the aisle holding an item, like with his eyes closed, like leaning back and forth. And I don't know. I mean, I've drank. I've done plenty of drugs. I've done, you know, I've smoked the devil's lettuce here and there, but that ain't weed and that ain't alcohol, dude. I mean, I don't know what the dude's on, like heroin or pills but I don't know. My boss, one of the coworkers was like, "Hey, you need to go check on the new guy." And my boss was like, "What's going on?" And he was like, he's like literally falling asleep, standing up in his aisle, like about to fall over. So he went over, and my boss, he's real cool, you know. He went over and was like, "Are you all right, buddy? You gonna make it?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, I slept like 2 hours last night." And I was thinking in my head, dude, you know how many times I've come in here on like 2-3 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep? Like, that ain't lack of sleep, bro. Like, that's something else, dude. But I don't know. I mean, he came in tonight and he was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like all good, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I wish the best for people. You know, I'm someone who struggled with substance abuse, and you know, it sucks. You know, I understand being on that side. You know, of coming to work fucked up and shit. You know, not that I do it in my new job, but I've done it in older jobs. You know, so I mean, I see both sides of the story. You know, it sucks, but I wish the best for him. But yeah, that's been my week as far as an update. Kind of crazy. But we shall get on with the show. All right, before we get into the show too much, I do want to do a little shout out and stuff. If you're listening to us audio form only, you can check us out on BitChute. We don't really post much there because it's hard to upload. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on YouTube. We're just Conspiracy Corner Podcast. You can find us if you are a video watcher, but you want to listen on audio because some people do. It helps save their battery if they're at work. You can find us on Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, Anchor. But yeah, now we'll get on with the show. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of get this off my chest. The information I found today, what I'm covering today, like I said, for this month of October, I've been putting out a lot of older episodes that are kind of Halloween related. And I've been putting out newer episodes that are Halloween related because I'm not really big on holidays. I'm not religious or anything. But I do love Halloween because it's like 1 month out of the year that I get to openly enjoy creepy stuff, macabre, true crime, paranormal, stuff like that, you know. It's like the one month out of the year where everything that I'm normally into, I can kind of get away with it, and it's acceptable, I guess. And it gives me an excuse to kind of go down those type of rabbit holes. Because if this world was not as crazy as it was with the whole pandemic and all that jazz, I would honestly be covering more paranormal, more ufology, the fun stuff. But sadly, this world is so crazy, and there's always insane conspiracy that is literally mainstream now. Like, there's to call it a conspiracy theory at this point, it's kind of silly. But yeah, I did want to cover this today because it is news. And it covers witchcraft and a moon ceremony and a famous star. And I thought it was interesting and Halloween related. But I got this info from Jacob Israel. And before you go in the comment section, jumping my shit and all that, I've given him shout outs like throughout the years. I've been on YouTube for 5 or 6 years, you know. I've commented on videos. He's commented back and stuff. I'm not super tight with him or nothing. But couple months back, man, probably about a month ago, month and a half ago, maybe. And I don't, like I said, I'm kind of a paranoid person. I don't know if he intentionally did it, but he was covering like Lord of the Rings. I guess for some reason Lord of the Rings kept coming up in like famous people's tweets and stuff. And I had commented, you know, he had been covering Elon Musk and Lord of the Rings, and I was like, hey, Elon Musk just tweeted, you know, literally the poem at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, the book. You know, I'm like, this is like a big puzzle piece into what you're covering, what you've been covering. I think it connects, you know. And like I said, I mean, he's got like 50K subscribers, but I commented it on his video, and I looked through the comments. Like, I scrolled through quite a bit, and I didn't see anyone else mentioning it. And he's not doing his normal job anymore. He's doing YouTube full time. So he's been putting out more videos, and literally the next video is probably like the next day or 2 days after was on the tweet that I told him about. And I don't know, it just kind of bummed me out because I've make every time I make videos, and if I get information from somewhere, like obviously I'm not like today I'm covering this Paris Jackson witchcraft ritual, moon ritual she did out in the middle of the woods, butt naked, which is what we'll get into. But it came to my attention through his channel, you know, because I am a podcaster, but I'm a night stalker at a grocery store, so 8 hours a day I'm listening to podcasts, you know? And it just, anytime like I get info from another channel that inspires me to want to cover the same subject, because I wouldn't say it's exactly copying. I wouldn't say it's ripping off other people's videos, because everyone's going to have a different take on it. And trust me, my take is going to be far different than Jacob Israel's, because he's a Christian, and I practice witchcraft. So I'm going to definitely look at this through that lens. But yeah, it bummed me out. And like I said, it could just be paranoia. It could just be someone else could have told him about it. Someone else could have brought it to his attention. But it did kind of bum me out, because it's like, I always try to shout out other channels. I've shouted his channel out a billion times because I get info from him. I've shouted other YouTube channels out a bunch, because they've brought stuff to my attention that I didn't know about, and I wanted to cover it myself on this channel. So I always try to shout out other channels, and just kind of bummed me out. Like, I had an old channel that got almost up to 300 subs, and I've been on YouTube for 5 or 6 years now, and been putting out content. It just would have been nice if he did get that info from me to give me a shout out, and he didn't in the video. And like I said, it could just be paranoia, but because he's got a lot of subs and stuff, but it bummed me out when it happened. I literally took a week off. I was like, fuck it, fuck everything. I don't know. And like I said, I'm not bashing on him. I'm not hating on him. I don't want you guys trolling him. I don't want you guys trolling me in the comments. I just figured I'd get it off my chest. I almost made a video on it the day that it happened, just to kind of vent and get it off my chest. But I guess what kind of bummed me out too is, like, if he did make that video the next day after I gave him that info, it's like my old channel was literally just called Abe Williams. So I would expect for someone to just get that info and not give a shout out, because they're like, oh, that's just someone's name. It's not an actual content creator. But when I comment, I use this channel, Conspiracy Corner Podcast, so I think it's kind of obvious that I'm a content creator, But it just would have been nice if so. If not, like I said, it could just be paranoia. It could be just thinking too much into it. But I don't know. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I still love the dude. I still watch his shit. I'm still sub to him. Shout out to him once again. He's the reason I'm covering this today. He brought it to my attention, and we shall get into it. All right, so we're going to go through this article, and I'm going to comment throughout. It's from E. It's Paris Jackson, Alexandra Shipp, which I'm not sure who that is. I'm guessing it's another famous celebrity. And more stars go topless to celebrate full moon ritual. And this was October 22nd, so this is fairly new. Paris Jackson, Alexandra Shipp, and more stripped down to their underwear under the full moon to express gratitude ahead of Halloween. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, I do have 2 images that basically show pictures of the ritual. Now, one thing Jacob said during his video today was, like I said, he's a Christian. Obviously, Christians are more modest. He did admit and allude to in the past, as a younger man, he might have stripped naked and done some weird ritual stuff out in the middle of the woods as a kid or a teenager. Hey, I respect that, someone sharing their past. I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. They're grown women. It was all females there, so it's not like they were being, like, I don't know, floozies or something. And the thing about, like, paganism in particular, especially because, like I said, I practice witchcraft, and when I'm at the house, if I'm doing a spell or doing witchcraft, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not trying to give you a mental image, but most of the time I do it nude. And if you actually read spell books and stuff, they say that it's actually better to do magic naked, you know? Because it's all nature stuff, man. And this was a moon worship ceremony out in the middle of the woods. With paganism, especially, because paganism specifically means non-Christian, non-Abrahamic religion. And if you read Genesis and the story of the serpent, Lucifer, Satan, whatever you want to call him, which Satan just means, it comes from a word Hasatan, which means adversary. It doesn't even really say it's Lucifer that's the serpent on the tree. It could just be a lot of people think perhaps like a reptilian entity. Because Lucifer is an angel, a fallen angel. It doesn't even actually say that it's Lucifer. It just says Satan, which would be adversary. But the message that I got reading it is that as soon as they ate the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, from the Christian perspective, it brought them knowledge, and them having that knowledge, they found out new knowledge, knowing, they knew at that moment that they were naked and nude and ashamed of it, and that's when they get dressed and Jehovah comes in. It's like, why are you wearing clothes? You're supposed to be naked. And to me, I don't know, it made it, I guess that's why you see like a lot of like with the Protestants. I was raised Protestant, several different denominations. My parents jumped around. They did evangelist, Southern Baptist, evangelist, Pentecostal, and then my dad ended up preaching non-denominational but Protestant. The message that I got, everyone that I seen in church always dressed with super long skirts, ashamed of nakedness. And with paganism, they embrace the nudity. They embrace nudism in general almost. It's almost nudism, that you shouldn't be ashamed of your body. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. Like, I don't know. To me, that's, call me hippy dippy if you want, but that's kind of freeing, That, and as a dude, what's wrong with being out in the woods with a bunch of naked chicks? I'm just saying. I do witchcraft, and I don't know. I think that's pretty fucking rock and roll. Just saying. But I digress. We'll get back into the article. On Wednesday, October 20th, when the moon was full, and by the way, I believe it was a hunter's moon. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was a hunter's moon. The 23-year-old model stripped down to her underwear for a ritual with her friends, including Alexandra Shipp. Like I said, I don't know who that is. If you guys know, hit me up in the comments. I could look up if we have time, just kind of see what she did, why she's famous. Paris shared a glimpse of their gathering under the night sky on Instagram, writing, "Thank you, Mother Moon," alongside a photo of their backsides. Now this was another point that he had commented on, Jacob, that they're worshiping the moon. I hate to burst Christian bubbles. Actually, I don't hate to burst it. It actually, I actually had I'd gotten in a conversation with someone earlier this month, and I'll get into that in a second. But they kind of made the mention of, they're worshiping the moon, Mother Moon. I hate to burst y'all's bubbles if you're Christian, but Jesus is the sun. SONSUN. A little play on words. And I mean, I've suggested this documentary to people throughout the years, and I know people are like, "Oh, that's been debunked." It hasn't been debunked. I'm sure it's not completely correct. I'm sure there's flaws in it, but there's a film on Zeitgeist and on YouTube you can find there's a film on Netflix and YouTube. It's called Zeitgeist. It basically explains how Christianity is based off of older religions. Now, the oldest of those religions would probably be the Egyptian religion, where Jesus is basically Horus. And it goes into how the 12 apostles are the 12 planets. Jesus is the sun, or nine. Let's see. You see what I'm saying? They could be like the 12 constellations. It's all astrotheology, man. It's been years since I watched it. It's all literally astrotheology, and it gets into explaining how all these different Bible stories and stuff, that they're all taken from older religions. And I suggest anyone, when you start reading into ancient Sumerian religion and ancient Egyptian religion, especially those two, you'll notice, man, it's like these are basically Bible stories, but they're written and created before the Bible was even around. Um, I'm not going to be a broken record because I've went over this on my channel a billion times. Just if you're interested in it, check out Zeitgeist. Like I said, I'd actually almost kind of gotten an argument. I was watching a paranormal roundtable live stream, and somebody had mentioned that because they got into like theology and stuff, and somebody had mentioned Zeitgeist, and I was in the live chat, and I said, "Dude, I love Zeitgeist." To me, that movie was like very freeing to me because I was definitely under like the mental abuse of mental and religious abuse of the whole fire and brimstone. I'm going to burn in hell forever and ever and ever. And when I seen that, to me, it was a relief. Um, because when you find out that it's all literally the story of like, when you get into astrotheology, that it's all astrology, man. I mean, Jesus might have been an actual dude, but it's all stolen Egyptian myths and Sumerian myths. And to me, it was a relief of like, oh, they're just talking about the sun and the stars and stuff, and like, I'm not going to burn in some place forever and ever and ever. And somebody in the comment section was like, I don't see how you see that as a relief. To me, it was depressing. My religion was broken. And I'm like, why is that depressing? Like, no offense. Like, Christianity to me I literally was tormented as a child growing up in that atmosphere. Like, I was fearful every day going to sleep that I was going to burn forever. It got to the point I would pray compulsively. Like, I literally would pray like every 5 seconds if I thought something bad or if I did something bad. It was compulsion praying. Like, it was like I almost had like Tourette's, but with prayer. It was insane. Like, it was bad. But I was like, yeah, it's a relief to me to know that, oh, it's just stories about the astrology, and that I don't have to worry about burning forever and ever and ever. Like, I don't know. To me, that's nice. But some people, once they lose their religion, instead of like going out and exploring other religions or other beliefs and other things, I'm an occultist, so I'm into like witchcraft, shamanism, um, I meditation, AA, Buddhism, spirituality in general. I've dabbled in Rastafari, I love studying the myths. I love studying all religion, honestly. My biggest section in my bookshelf is Christian books, but yeah. So it's just funny that a Christian would get on to someone for worshiping the moon when they literally worship the sun, and they just don't realize it. All right. Paris captioned a separate picture which showed the girls as they posed topless. Quote, "'Tis the season." Like I said earlier, opening this podcast up, Halloween. I already know about Samhain. I know what they used to do, but you can take it, take that and just look at just the negative, or just enjoy it. I look at it as, ooh, I get to watch scary movies all month and eat candy and You know, shit like that. Read ghost stories. Like, I look at it as like that. You know, I'm not going out into the woods and sacrificing a baby or nothing. You know, according to Paris's friend and singer Lavender, I don't know who that is. I'll have to look into her. They recently formed the group and got together to mark the start of a new lunar phase. Quote, "Thank you, sisters, for letting me lead my first full moon ritual," Lavender wrote on Instagram. "Feels incredible to have this sweet and special new coven, a group of such spiritually aware, incredible women. Thank you for patience over my fumbling." Once again, I see nothing wrong with that. If you want to worship the moon, that's cool as long as you're not sacrificing babies or doing anything weird like that. My wife is actually, I've always called her a moon worshiper, you know. Um, yeah, I worship Gaia, you know. I see nothing wrong with that. I don't worship Gaia in the sense of like World Economic Forum. You know, I don't really believe in all that jazz, but yeah, I see nothing wrong with it. And as far as like starting a coven, I've been wanting to start a coven forever. I almost started a coven with this group of gay guys that I lived with for a little bit. They were into witchcraft, and one of them was like, "Hey, I want to start a coven." CJ, actually, I did an interview with him. It's one of my podcast episodes. You can go check that out. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll link it in the credits. You can click on that and listen to that interview if you want. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it. And Lavender clarified in a comment that the ritual was nothing dark. Instead, they were simply thanking the moon. Sounds cool to me. As for the name of their new coven, Alexandra joked it's called, quote, Dirty Feet Gang Gang Coven. I should hope that's not the actual name. I would name it something cooler than that. I don't know if I had a coven. I don't know what I would name it. Something dope. Something, I don't know, spooky sounding. Paris previously shared that she has a greater appreciation for life and this earth, Gaia, after attempting to take her life. She discussed her suicide attempts with Willow Smith on Red Table Talk, saying that she's grateful she's still alive. Yeah, I'm someone who actually who attempted suicide. I attempted suicide after my divorce with my first wife. Through alcohol. I drank myself into the hospital. I literally drank for a month straight. And people are like, well, how much did you drink? I was taking a shot probably every 15 to 30 minutes for an entire month straight. Yeah, I tried to drink myself to death. And then I would eat a meal probably every 2 days. Lost a shit ton of weight. It got to the point it literally felt like lightning bolts were going through my left arm. I'd sweat profusely. I smelt like a distillery. Uh, I ended up, I think, honestly, going into almost a psychosis, alcohol-induced psychosis. It was pretty bad. So, I mean, I understand, you know, the whole suicidal tendency shit. I've dealt with it, and it's not cool. So for her to find something, a spiritual path that makes her happy and gives her purpose and gives her a spiritual fulfillment, hell yeah, I see nothing wrong with that. Especially if it's just moon worship. I mean, Hollywood, we all know that they're into like some Luciferian, evil, Moloch, Baal worshipping shit. So for her to worship the moon, yeah, that's good on her. I'd rather her be doing that than worshiping Moloch or Baal or Lucifer. I can say several years later that I'm like really grateful that I didn't. Things have gotten better, she reflected. The singer added that it took time for her to realize that she was meant to be on this earth, saying, initially I think it's kind of morbid, the radical acceptance that it just wasn't meant to be. So it's just radical acceptance of when it's my time, it will be my time, and I will wait it out until then. And during the wait time, I've just found more and more joys in life, and more ways to cope, and more ways to really live instead of just exist. So I don't know. I mean, that sounds like she's on the right track. You know, she's found a spiritual path that makes her happy, gives her purpose. Yeah, sounds good to me. Um, I know I've actually said that, you know, when I attempted to kill myself, and there's multiple times that I should have died and didn't die, and it's like I got to the point where I was like, you know, I should probably stop attempting and trying to leave this earth. It's obviously not going to happen on my time and my terms. I believe in God. I don't believe that it's some naked bearded guy in the sky. I believe that it's probably like some beautiful life force that is just nothing but love, you know, something like that. I believe that our human mortal minds cannot even comprehend what God actually is. It's neither man nor woman. It's just love. I don't know. The creator of all is what the Sumerians, the oldest religion, their lowercase gods worshipped literally what they would call the creator of all. That to me is God. Paris has found happiness in her music and modeling career, which she is smoking hot. You'll see in the picture. She's hot. Traveling to Paris and other cities for concerts and fashion shows. She recently performed at Le Pop-Up de la Belle in the French city, a moment of great celebration for the daughter of the late Michael Jackson. Quote, so fucking grateful. My heart is so full, she wrote after her performance. I love you guys beyond words, forever and always. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, anyone who's been listening to this channel, they know my views on spirituality and Christianity and what I do and what I practice. And I don't know. I kind of wanted to give a positive side to the story. I've seen a lot of people giving negative, mostly Christian sides to it, which there's nothing wrong with being Christian, but I read the article and was like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. She's happy. She's not suicidal anymore. She has a spiritual path. She has a reason to live. She has spiritual fulfillment. She's not out in the woods sacrificing a goat or a baby to Moloch, so it's not a spirit cooking ritual. I see nothing wrong with it. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. That's all I wanted to cover today. I do have the Madeline episode. We're going to be doing part 2 on it. Some more true crime, and I think it'll get into the murders. And part 3 will be covering the trial that she goes through. So I look forward to that. It'll be a trilogy. And y'all have a good day.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.